Good evening, everybody, and welcome to We Inspire, an interview segment where we connect with entrepreneurs and talk about how they decided to start their own business and what keeps them inspired and motivated to stay in the game. The subject of today's interview is When You Love What You Do, It's Fun. And joining us today is Mr. Achintya Dayal, CEO and co-founder of Kiplist, a Bangalore-based business that enables homestays and hotels to create their own official websites that can instantly sell and receive reservations. He's going to share his fun-filled journey towards discovering his passion and the importance of staying positive when faced with challenges. Welcome, Mr. Achintya.
Hi, Ranoy. It's a pleasure to meet you and pleasure to be with the Vakil Search team.
Thank you. So, Achintya, to get started, can you talk about your journey so far, how you got started, and your idea behind this business?
Right, Ranoy. For me to explain this, I would have to take you back to 2009 when we kind of entered college.
Sure,
So,
sure. Please do.
me and
Yeah.
my co-founder, current co-founder, and my best friend Arjun Raghunandan, uh, we always had one thing in our mind that we might not get jobs. We didn't know we are going to take up entrepreneurship, but we were quite sure that it'll be very hard for us to get a job. Having that in the back of our heads, we did enter into a formal education. Um,
Yeah.
so Arjun, being an engineer, uh, kind of took a risk of not going abroad after he finishes engineering for masters, and I kind of being from musical background and having little knowledge about finance and how to kind of get things off the ground, we decided that maybe it's the right time to kind of launch something of our own. And we I mean, I was told repeatedly by my parents that I'm not fit to be an employee, so it's better to become an employer. And so
Okay.
that kind of really pushed me and helped me to kind of shape this up. And so back in college, I was basically playing music for various bands, and I was doing it semi-professionally. So I used to travel to Pune, Bombay, and Karnataka, a lot of places, a lot of colleges, and we used to have these good gatherings where it was just out of the box experience, like where you see it in movies where a band member is going and you're getting received by people, things like that. And
Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking of a
yeah,
couple of movies right now. Rock on.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was living that dream and I was living that life. And
Okay.
fortunately, I was invited to a particular place in Karnataka when I was in a show in Mysore. I was playing in Mysore, and that person was kind enough to kind of invite me to their ancestral home. And I was perplexed by the hospitality they provided at that place, and
Hmm.
my whole image of difference between a hotel and a regular homestay just shattered there. And I was like, this is so cool. I mean, I can just go, it's someone's house. And at that point of time, Airbnb, Make My Trip, all of these people were still were in the evolution period, and they were still concentrating on flights and hotels and things like that, right? Uh,
Sure.
yeah, so that was my first experience, and I had kind of made up my mind then that I would want a place like this. The only problem was we couldn't afford a place like this, so we're like, okay, what do we do next? So once we kind of cleared our education, me and Arjun both decided, okay, fine, let's kind of take a small place outside the city, let's revamp it. And it was clear passion for us. We didn't care about money. We didn't care about making a business, sound business out of it. We wanted that place to be available for us to go on weekends and relax. That was the main motive back then.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that passion led to us doing things without being greedy about money coming in. And if you're able to do that, a lot of things actually work out for people. So what we did is we kind of took this place up in Chikmagalur, we revamped it, and we started running it. And we enjoyed giving that hospitality to people, and people loved the experience there. And that's how we kind of got into this whole travel accommodation space as a whole. Um, then obviously responsibilities do come up, and so for us, our parents were like, "Ab kya karoge?" And you know that regular Indian mentality, like, "ठीक है, we see you roaming around, and you guys are relaxing for a lot of time. We just see you guys running around. There's nothing happening as such."
I guess
So
that's
we're
a
like,
lot of. I guess there's a lot of tough love coming from your parents, or were they
yeah,
being just honest?
yes, yes, and it's more or less, it's acceptable because
Yeah.
they have lived in a very different way. We are trying to break regular norms, so
Yes.
it is understandable.
Yeah.
So I would give that benefit of doubt to our parents as well for kind of being who they are. So and that's where it pushed me and Arjun to kind of take up entrepreneurship formally,
Right.
and we registered a company. We thought uh, travel would be an apt background to go in for back then, thinking that travel would be evergreen. No one expected this to happen, but then we all were, yeah, we all travel was
We'll come
basically,
to that.
we used to tell people that travel is something
Yeah.
which is evergreen because people will travel irrespective of whatever happens. The movement doesn't stop, right? And
Yeah.
who knew? Who knew? So we experienced something new in 2020, and that myth got broken. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But we'll come to that. Definitely,
yeah,
we'll come
we'll
back
come
to
to
that.
that. And
Yeah.
we established the company in 2015,
Yeah.
and we were fortunate enough to be guided by the ex-director of yatra.com.
I see.
And yeah, and then we raised a small angel round. We got the company off the ground, and this whole investment entrepreneurship scene was so much back then. And people were like, you look left, right, center, everyone is getting funded, and we were like, dude, no one is giving us money. And why is that? We have done the right things, but no one is
Okay.
giving us the money. So
I see.
and it's understandable, like, so it took us a while to kind of raise that fund, and but we did raise it, and we moved into corporate travel completely.
Right.
And we were kind of catering to 87 companies all over Bangalore. We used to take
Wow.
care of their end-to-end travel, complete
Hmm.
travel solution. And we just developed a tech layer over that and pushed it into the market, and people accepted it with grace, and we were able to make good money out of it. Uh,
Sure.
then then something happened, and we were like, okay, maybe we are not able, this is not what we would want to do. This is what we moved into, but this is not is what we wanted to do.
Right.
uh, then we took a step back, and we are like, okay, let's kind of go back to what we want to do. So we wanted to kind of help these rural accommodation owners and these independent standalone hoteliers to kind of be able to stand on their own feet and not depend upon the online travel agencies, the big names, right? I would not
Right.
name them.
Right. Right.
But that was the scene because when I and Arjun started out our accommodation, we faced all those issues,
Right.
and we knew exactly what the problems were. But then there was no particular solution in the market for this kind of a problem. So we are a small homestay owner. We cannot afford a massive tech solution for us to kind of have our website, integrate it with various online travel channels, have a reservation management system to manage and keep all the data, what is asked by the police, for us to kind of keep the data records and things like that. So we're like, why not build something for the small accommodation owners, right? So
Right.
hotel management services and all these things, SaaS tools exist for big properties, and they charge quite a bit. Which
Right.
is so when you consider softwares which come for 3 to 10 room inventory, you'll hardly find anything. Everyone will push you. People have customized their solution for this 3 to 10 room inventory, but they've not been able to succeed in it because
Right.
that's not their core.
Okay.
So that's the niche what we went after, and
Hmm.
I would say it was the right decision we took back then.
Right.
Against, because a lot of people were telling us don't do this, and understandable, when you're kind of doing the right thing, there'll be hundreds of people telling you not to do it, right? And also something what was not done previously in the market, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
this kind of a solution at this price point never existed in the market, and people are spending 50,000 to 1 lakh rupees to build a basic website. They didn't
Okay.
have tech knowledge. They didn't have any knowledge as to how do they run their accommodation, but they had a property. They were willing to go ahead and do it, but there was
Yeah.
no support system which was available for them, right?
Yeah.
And we were like, let's build a support system out for these guys because
Hmm.
we also face the same issues.
Sure.
And that's where Kiplist was born.
Okay.
And we built Kiplist. It basically helps you to kind of form your own official website,
Yeah.
and we have ton of other features which help you to kind of gain reservations, and
Hmm.
all this we charge a 5% transaction fee if the payment is being made online, right?
Sure.
Otherwise, we have a standard fee for an annum, what we charge for the usage of the website. So that way, a person does not have to spend out of his pocket a lakh, 2 lakh rupees just to get a basic website in hand and accept reservations to promote his property in the right
Sure.
forums, right?
Yeah.
And that kind of clicked for us. And right now, as of today, we have close to about 380 accommodation owners who are using this,
Wow. Okay.
and now we are kind of revamping our system because of the COVID scenario. We are
Right.
adding a lot many features for them to make it contactless
Yeah.
and go completely contactless.
Sure.
So we are under renovation and we hope to be soon. Yeah.
Sure. No, it's interesting that you talked about, helping small time homestays or local hotels, because I guess most of us, at least from my experience, if I'm generally traveling anywhere, it's easier for me to look up a hotel and stay over there. But
Right.
now that you put this up over here about talking about local homestays, are
Right.
helping them, they do have a certain limitation in place, and you are empowering them in a way
True.
to stand up to the competitions that's out there. There's definitely a lot of competition out there, so
Yes.
you're
Yes.
empowering them in that way.
Yes.
So now that you've talked about some of the challenges and also talked about your products and services, uh, can you take us through some of the challenges, because you mentioned about the challenges your
Right.
customers are facing, especially given the COVID scenario?
Right.
So can you just take us through some of the challenges and how you're
Sure.
handling them?
Sure. So when the COVID broke out, my whole team and me and my co-founder were in disbelief, and we're like, no, this cannot happen. And we're like, because the situation was so it was evolving so fast, right? It was very
Absolutely.
difficult to apprehend and to take a decision which would help us to sustain the business as a whole. uh,
Definitely.
so what we did is we just followed
Because
what.
I believe what happened is during that time there were people canceling a lot of bookings
Yes.
even before the lockdown and everything.
Yes.
Because I remember two of my friends who had planned certain trips.
Right.
They just they paid everything for an entire week
Right.
and they ended up canceling everything.
Right, and
Uh,
that's true, Renoy. We also
okay.
kind of had a lot of cancellations,
Hmm.
but we were fortunate that our business model supports it in a way that a traveler is safe and a homestay owner will get his money if the booking is getting through. Yes, there were major losses what we have suffered. I wouldn't deny that.
Yeah.
But then I would still say people are hopeful. People are still very much uh, into traveling. People would still want to get out of their house, out of seeing the same faces again and again. You're seeing your wife, parents, brother, sister every day in a confined space, man, it gets to you. It gets to
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
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 there's no doubt about it. So,
yeah.
pinning our hopes on that, we hope for the revival to happen.
Mm,
Challenges, yes, we faced multiple challenges in that COVID time frame. One was with the cancellations, but again, our solution kip list basically, if you're paying via kip list or if you're booking a property via the kip list platform, as a customer, the money is not transferred to the homeowner until and unless your check-in happens. So that way, we were very safe. The homeowners were also very safe. They knew the conditions what are preset. We didn't have much issues returning the money back to the consumers,
mm,
and that was one of the challenges. Second thing, what we faced was the apprehension when we restarted everything about a month back.
mm.
So the apprehension of safety, uh, right, was a big concern.
Yeah.
And most of these properties, as they're located in remote areas, right?
Mm,
So most of these properties are located in tier 2 and tier 3 cities of India.
mm,
So it was a challenge initially, that how do we kind of um, provide the information to all our homeowners that this is the way you have to treat your customer, that these are the measures you have to take in order to kind of be a responsible homestay owner and a responsible citizen of India. And we were fortunate enough, because of my team and my co-founder, and we kind of got that information out well in time. Now all of our properties which are using our software are well equipped to handle uh, COVID patients as well as non-COVID patients. So even if you're COVID positive, we still have the facilities to kind of make it work for you.
okay.
But yeah, so I mean, there were a lot of things. We spoke to the district collectors of the zone, and spoke to the local government bodies to kind of get things fixed. So if anyone feels feverish, if anyone feels unwell, we immediately inform the hospital. We are in each of these localities. We are tied up with the local government municipal hospital, and we have a doctor on call.
Okay.
So these are a few things what we have introduced, and hopefully, when the trust comes back, when the vaccination comes out, I would
Sure.
expect all of you guys to actually go and visit these properties and help these homeowners to bounce back.
So moving on, considering that all the work that you've been involved in,
Yeah.
uh, how would you say the work-life balance is? Cons-
So to be frank, I'll give you an anecdote. In the past, since 2015, since I and my co-founder started the company, we have taken just 3 breaks. So there is no work-life balance, right?
yeah.
And the thing is, you sign up for this. The reason is, we never consider what we do as work. We literally enjoy what we are doing, and I mean it in every sense. You must have
Mm.
heard it from a lot of entrepreneurs saying that you have to enjoy the work what you do.
Yes. Yeah.
So the reason is, say if you're kind of playing cricket, you love playing cricket,
Mm.
you will end up becoming Sehwag one day. I mean, if that is what you
Ah,
like. That definitely will take you there. And you are
okay.
good at something, you will be able to earn a monetary income out of that in some way or
Mm.
the other, right?
Yeah.
And this is what life has taught us, that just do what you love, and things will follow suit. You don't have to worry so much about COVID happening, and this happening, that happening. Things will go on, but
Yeah.
you shouldn't stop doing what you love. and
Sure.
uh, and that basically translates into not having a work life balance as such. We
Okay.
do not get time. I'm quite caught up, almost 14 to 16 hours of day a day. Um,
Mm.
my sleep hours are close to about 6 hours max to max, and yeah. So I
Yeah.
have like meetings lined up from the morning till 8 o'clock, and then I'm available to my whole team to kind of approach me whenever they deem fit.
Yeah.
and so I'm available to them 24/7.
Yeah.
uh, you have to sacrifice few things, and that's taken a toll definitely at home. I mean, your parents start telling you like, "Shadi kab karoge," and and the general
Another
scenario.
another dose of tough love.
Exactly, and because how do you explain it to your parents that you are already married, you're married to something what you love, you're doing that right now,
Yeah, yeah,
and yeah, so that way, considering that work-life balance has not been there, being to be very honest and frank, it throws out results too. Yeah.
yeah. No, you mentioned that you were a musician back in college. So do you
Yes.
still take the time out to do that? And what instrument?
Yeah, so I was a guitarist. I am a guitarist still. I do take time out. It's reduced quite a bit. Um,
Yeah.
the choice of music has changed from heavy metal to now it's come down to very slow songs. But then, I mean, as you mature, you kind of change. But I do take time out. I do play. I do play it for my own satisfaction. It just keeps me sane. It just keeps me on track, keeps me attached to reality. At uh, and it's an easy escape. To be honest, yeah.
Moving on, I understand that you've taken some services with Wakil Search. Can you elaborate on them and take us through the experience?
Right. So my experience with Wakil Search is like a mother and kid. Wakil Search being the mother. So the reason is, why do I say that is because in 2015 when I wanted to incorporate the company, now this we had to get an incorporation done in a private limited company because we were raising money,
Right.
and so being I mean, I and Arjun both don't belong to a business background. So we had absolutely no idea as to how the hell do you incorporate a company, and what's the difference between a private limited partnership and proprietorship and things like that.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing Wakil Search the first time I saw them was an online ad back in 2015, and I was
Okay.
just scrolling through Facebook, and there's one small ad which said that get your company registered for this amount,
Okay.
and I had finished. The problem was we had finished raising our funds, but we never incorporated the company as of that time. And I kind of spoke to Wakil, so they were very helpful. From They have incorporated my company and handled my accounting, my compliances, my fundraising process, my
Okay.
paperwork, legal work, uh, everything A to Z is been with Wakil Search from 2015. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and it's been an amazing experience because honestly, I didn't have to get up from my chair in order to do anything. I was Everyone was so responsive. I got everything over the email, and I was guided through about the whole process over the phone. And so we got the incorporation done. We got our GST compliances done via Wakil Search. We get
Yeah.
our accounting done via Wakil Search. Uh,
Sure.
yeah,
So
right.
glad to hear that feedback.
Yeah.
So moving on, what are your future aspirations and plans, especially?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a good question. So the future would be, we are planning to kind of expand our footprint across multiple states.
Hmm.
The reason being is when the tourism bounces back, we want to be at the forefront of it, right? We have been helping a lot of these accommodation owners to kind of earn good amount of revenue for their properties,
Hmm.
and I'm expecting to kind of ramp that up to a large number of properties all over India.
Okay.
So in the next 1 year, the aim would be to kind of reach about 1,000 plus properties who would be using our services.
Okay.
And um, it's a fair enough number, keeping in mind the situation, keeping in mind the homeowners are, they would want to earn maximum money without giving maximum commission to these channels, right?
Okay.
And where I mean, that's our whole mission and vision, to kind of make them sustain with what they are doing, and
Okay.
that's the aim. Yeah.
Right. So if people want to reach you, how can people reach you?
Sure. So you can just log on to kiplist.in, and you can also mail us at achintya@kiplist.in or achintya@kiplist.com. And the mobile numbers are also present on the website, so you can just contact us and let us know how we can be of help, and we'll do our level best.
Sure, Cynthia. So thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure talking with you. And
Same here, Renoy.
yes, so the very best of luck from all of us here at Vakil Search. Take care.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Bye.
Renoy.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.